Okay, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Oh, Sheikh, today's discussion will be quite brief. Haji Latif, welcome. And then we have Sheikh Mashood, our boss. Okay, Sheikh, in these current times, we've realized that in the course of wealth acquisition, people are really swaying away from the Islamic style because economic conditions is really, should I say, forcing people, but that's the norm. You find the young guys doing super betting and all sort of things. So today I would like you to dwell a bit with the help of Haji Latifa on Islam and wealth acquisition. At least let's interrelate it to see if we actually acquire wealth the right way, and also the mode of savings and stuff, to at least to educate the general public on what Islam says about wealth acquisition.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wa bihi nasta'in. Wa salatu wa salam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in. Wa ba'd. I think this subject is a very broad subject for us to discuss. And it's very important as well, especially in these contemporary times we find ourselves in.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, wealth acquisition is incumbent on Muslims to do. It's unfortunate that we are lagging behind. And due to this, now generation of us gets to realize that it's important for them to acquire wealth, but they are not following the rightful means, because this is what the means that are available for them.
Yes.
So they have to grab the means that comes to them. So it's high time we change the narrative to the youth, that, or to ourselves, that wealth acquisition is very good. Before I can enter into this, that is making them to involve, before we can condemn fellow brothers who are doing gambling or what sort of illegal acquisition of wealth, we should blame ourselves. The question is, did you educate them? Are they aware of the legal ways? Always we prohibit, we say this is haram, but we are not telling them what to do in substitute of the haram. If you are condemning something, then bring something better, so that the people will grab it. You can't take something off me without giving me a substitute. Definitely I'll go back to what you have taken again. So to talk about wealth acquisition, the first of all we need to do is to digest one of the misconception. And there are two misconceptions that Muslims have, and that is leading us to this. So one of the misconceptions is that the Holy Prophet Muhammad was poor. Do you usually hear that they tell us the Holy Prophet was not?
Yes, that's one of the things you hear, that the Holy Prophet Muhammad was poor. He didn't really like anything.
Very well.
Yes.
So let me dwell into this, and you will see.
Okay.
You get to realize that it's not true. They told us the Holy Prophet Muhammad was poor. Then today, contemporary time, we have critical thinkers. Now, if we narrate here, we narrate there, and they go back to our books, you will see that things are contradicted. They can't get. Today, children or people of ours, we like questioning, and you must give us answers that will convince us. So you say he was poor. Then let me tell us. You told us that in the study of his story or his history or biography, we are told that he was from a noble family, and he himself was a noble person. And when we are talking about nobility, what does it mean? Or what are you trying to tell us?
Background.
Very well. So his background, he came from a background who were not poor at all. They were rulers. His grandfather was still a ruler. His uncle, though his father was late, his uncle was a merchant, a business well-known person. And people surrounding him, they are well-to-do. And somebody from a noble family or well-to-do family, you call the person a poor person. Don't stop there. Then let's move forward. From growing up, he followed his uncle in doing business trade. Are you getting that? He followed his uncle in doing business transactions or trade. And when he gets to know the tricks of the business, then his uncle has to establish, he has to separate his own way to do. When he separated himself, all these half times, I will relate back to that again. When he left there, he went to join Nana Khadija in doing business, working under Nana Khadija before marrying her. She was doing business with the person. He does buying and selling. He knew all business activity, tactics, and other things. Couple of years before he became a prophet. So how can you tell me someone who was doing buying and selling, who was entered into partnership? He went into partnership with another Khadija after leaving from his what? His uncle. He entered into Mudaraba. In Islam, partnership is what we call mudaraba.
Mudaraba, yes.
So he entered into partnership with Nana Khadija until Nana Khadija got to realize that this person is business oriented. He knew the business concept. He has to say, no, I can't let this gentleman go. That was when lead to what? The marriage of the Holy Prophet and then Nana Khadija, because he knew that this gentleman, if he partnered with him in business, they are going to explore. They are going to do well. So how can you now tell me this person was poor, who was into business, acquire wealth and other things, no business practice, buying and selling, yet you tell the person to be poor? The only thing you should tell us that he decided to live a simple life. It didn't mean he was poor. Let's assume Aliko Dangote, you are telling him he was poor because he decided to live a simple life. Doesn't make him poor.
Oh. Hadia, Sheikh, thank you very much. That's one misconception. Let me just come to Hadia. No. So we are speaking on wealth acquisition, right? Now, you are quite young, so you realize that in this current era, Sheikh is clearly saying that the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who we all follow, was a very hardworking man right from the onset. He chose to live a simple life, but it didn't mean he was poor. He acquired wealth. So in this current era, where things are tight, we the young guys usually choose the simple ways of making money. Do you have anything to say about that in terms of Islamic and at least with the accounting background?
Okay. So the little I can say is that we know resources are scarce, and with our insatiable needs, we have a lot of needs that we want to satisfy, and we know that the resources are not there to satisfy all of them. So most of the times, we are forced to use all other means possible. Once we are getting the money, we have to satisfy those needs. However, we shouldn't forget that Islam being a way of life, we have to put it in every aspect of our lives, in the sense that in as much as we want something doesn't necessarily mean we should fall out of the fold of doing the right thing to acquire it with any means possible. So if Sheikh says even the Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was hardworking, then who are we not to work and go on the right path to also get halal wealth? Because any money that we acquire on this dunya will be accountable for you. You'll be questioned about how you earned it and what you used it for. So we should also be concerned about getting all this wealth through the halal means and not use other bad ways to get it.
Sheikh, thank you. Haji has spoken about the halal means. Now, speak to us on the halal means. Because that's the part where we are lacking.
Now, the halal ways are just, even with my discussion with the Holy Prophet Muhammad, you can even see that he's already teaching us the halal ways.
Yes.
One of the halal way is that you can't get up and just be a wealthy person or try to get wealth, even if they give birth to you in a rich family. You must do something. Yes. So listen to the Holy Prophet from the first 32. You need to be an apprentice. He was an apprentice. He understudied his uncle. He was an apprentice to his uncle. He followed his uncle.
You need to work under someone.
Very well. So the first step is what? You have to work under someone. You must attach yourself to somebody. You getting that? So there are two things. You either acquire a skill that will generate you. All the prophets were skilled prophets. They all have skill.
So meaning, even if you want to be an entrepreneur, to own you still need to.
You cannot be an entrepreneur by yourself. That is one problem we have today. You just see someone say that I am CEO of this and this. Whilst the person is still need a lot of capital or support to grow your business, whilst you are calling yourself a CEO, because you want to do everything by yourself. The Holy Prophet told us from the onset or the beginning, he has to be an apprentice. That is the start race. Go and understudy someone. And today you are into business. Let's assume you are selling computers and laptops, iPhones and other stuff. Then I come to be an apprentice with you by your shop or with you. Then for some 3, 5 years, 6 years, to even 10 years, you get to realize that I've done. Then I told you, boss, I want to establish myself. I have some store here. And yes, I have the store I've got. You have seen that I'm serious. You give me some of the product. I don't need to take money and go and buy again. You know me for a while. You train me. You can trust me. You give me the products. Money that I should have invested in it, I don't have to get that money again. You give me the product. I go sell, bring the but the money back to you, please restock me. And then the profit I am making, I start gradually, I can start from there. That was what the Holy Prophet did. He was understanding his uncle. The uncle gets to know that you are okay to do, then establish him, he start him by himself. That is the first point. So first point, you should agree to yourself that you are not beyond understanding someone or being an apprentice.
Okay.
That is one of the halal way. But today we the young ones, we want to be boss
Right
from the
onset.
onset, which is wrong. So one, you must be what? An apprentice. That is one of the halal ways you are understanding somebody or someone is taking you to training. That's one of the halal ways. Second, he followed from that place, he moved to the second one, being what? Partnership. Try to enter into partnership. If you are someone who don't want to start from out with by being an apprentice, you can do what? Partnership. You have the resource, you have the capital, you have the money, but you don't have the idea. Then I have the idea of venturing into this as an entrepreneur, but I don't have what? You do the partnership with me. Yours, your money is what? Is work, and whilst I am doing the labor. I am doing the labor work or doing the business. Whilst your money is doing it for you. This is what we call partnership. This is mudaraba. So from what? Apprenticeship, he moved to what? Mudaraba. He entered into partnership with another Adija and other business.
Where they share the profits.
That's it. So this is what? That is another what? Halal way means of what? Getting what? Halal means you have to enter into partnership. I don't have the money, but I am ready to work for you. If you have the money, I have to take care of what? Poultry farm. Yes, I have the skill to do poultry farm, but I don't have the money. So you go and buy the what? The chicken and other things, or put the money, and that's it. You are into partnership. It's one of the halal way. But today we don't want. You don't have the money. You are also skillful, and you want to get money.
How do you do that?
Imagine.
That's for
so you don't have skill.
It forces us to enter
the other wrong way. So these are all means of what, or steps which the Holy Prophet himself entered into by himself. So it is a way we can start with, simple way, by being an apprentice and then enter into partnership with someone.
Hadia, I think she has explained it very well there. But at times, do you think we are forced to, as young guys, we are forced to go the wrong way in acquiring wealth? Because you see, in this current world, those who even get it the wrong way, they are the ones that usually praise at home. When they get to their houses, we all know they are into fraud. And then they get to the homes with their cars, young guy with a car, huge phone and all that. And you find the family members hailing him, praising him. In fact, they say anything at all and it's accepted. So don't you think at times this pressure from society itself pushes us into the wrong way? Sure. So that like we don't want to be an apprentice. So we ask ourselves, why would I be an apprentice for this whole time before I acquire wealth? Let me just take the wrong way too.
Sure. Yeah. I know societal pressure is a very big factor contributing to people wanting to resort to other haram means to get money because they feel like they are more welcomed through those means. Yeah. That one is a very big canker that we have to look forward to like clearing. And I also think that in anything we still have a choice as humans, in as much as there can be pressure that is very overwhelming and it might push you to a place that you might end up regretting sometime. But in everything you have a choice to stand on your grounds as to what you want to do and doing the right thing at all times. So the problem is we withstanding that pressure and stand on what you want and stand on doing the right thing. You shouldn't be moved by what actually you can't necessarily be listening to everything that society says. You cannot be moving by the tunes of what society drums to you. Yes, you should know what is right, and what your religion says is right is what you should look forward to doing.
At least you know you will not live forever.
Exactly.
So what if you acquire the wealth and die tomorrow? Then did you go or did you come? You know look up for hotel over.
Yeah, exactly. So you know that we still have a choice in one way or the other. We have a choice to still wait and have the patience to go by the halal means and get the monies and still be appreciated by the society. Yeah.
Sheikh, don't you think we are not being educated enough? Because you see, with the Mudaraba you mentioned now, So many of us don't know about it. They get it. So we can be two friends. We go gather our resources, enter into a halal business, and probably start sharing profits small, and then work our way through. But we choose not to because, well, societal pressure. We all need the thing. So because of this little knowledge we have and all that, then when we get a little pressure, we just move away and then start our business.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier on, you don't know if you're dying tomorrow, you're dying today. But we don't care. We care of the moment, what we live in the moment, how we enjoy the moment, the things we get from the moment. Getting respect. Everywhere you go, people respect you. If you have car, they respect you. I don't have a car, they will not respect me. So why do I wait? So are we getting it wrong as a society or as parents, in bringing our, even as imams, in imparting?
Yes, actually, I can sense it from the beginning. We should have even started from here. I think it's high time we differentiate wealth. What do we term the word wealth? What is wealth? What is the term wealth? And I remember the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You see the gentleman. I can't see the guy. Yeah, the Holy Prophet. He's a great man because all these questions he has thought of it and gives solutions and answers to it in order to beat down this stress we are experiencing today. So he one day asked his companion this question. They should tell him who do they tend to be a wealthy person. Which is, if I'm going to ask all of us, we may have different views of that.
Yes.
Somebody who has money, plenty money in his accounts and other things. All our minds is limited to cash, physical cash.
Exactly.
No. So he wanted to test his companion on this subject. He asked them to tell him who do you think that to be a wealthy person? Then they began to say the one who has money, who has, yes, that was it. Who has dirham and other stuff, gold and silver. That was what they said. Someone who has silver and gold. Because that time, that was what they used to train. The Holy Prophet told them. He redefined this word definition for them in the way they already have. He redefined, he told them, La, walakin gina nafsu wala gina. He told them, no, the person who is rich in the heart is the one who is rich. They were saying that, oh, they think the one who has plenty money among them. He told them, La, walakin gina nafsun huwa gina. Except the one who is rich, who is content with what Allah has given him, he is the one who is rich. If you see them, if you look at them, all of them seated there, they will all feel that they are all rich. Because you are content with what Allah has given. What he has given me is not what he has given you. What she has given her is not what she has given you. So if you are content with what you have, you will not be rushed to do, you won't be moved like she was saying. You have the choice. This is what I have. I am proud of that and I'm okay with that. That is what their heart is content with what he has. And that is what the greatest of rich. Then he gave them a reverse definition of what he just told them. Then he now asked them, Atadruni manil muflis. Tell me, who do you think or who do you claim or to be a bankrupt person? You see, a vice versa. He was asking them to tell who is wealth. And then now he's asking them, who do you think is bankrupt? Who is blessed? Then they said, Man la dirham wala dinar. That whoever does not have dirham or dinar with him, that person is what? Bankrupt. That you see, I told you that all that and they were all their wealth is not cash. Then he told them, no, that is not it. The one who tend to be bankrupt is not the person you are thinking who has no dirham or dinar. It's rather someone who has struggled in this particular world to do a lot of good deeds that is pleasing his Lord. And then on the day of judgment, he goes to meet his Lord, and due to some minor matter, you insult this one, you gossip about this person, you backbite by this, you take some minor manners you did between your fellow human beings. That day you need to pay them back, and you have nothing to pay them than to give this your good deeds to them. And then you become empty. That is bankrupt.
Hey.
Today, if you go back to conventional banking, they are telling us bankrupt. They will tell us someone when their heart was in liquidation. You see that is it. You can't pay your debt. So on judgment day, all your good deeds for insulting so and so, for beating this person, they have to come and take it. And the good deeds you invested in this world is supposed to be paid that day. That is what they used to pay them. Now you are bankrupt. Look at how he redefined it.
Sheikh. With the explanation you've given, then there are lots of people who are bankrupt because, especially those who have financial cash or sort of physical cash. Because usually when we have money and power, most people feel yes we are above everyone, and then we speak against people and act wrongly against it. If five few people who are really God fearing, yes,
so that is going to push us to the reason why it's important, the purpose for us to acquire wealth. What you are mentioning, because those who have the goal. So I give one misconception why Muslims are relaxed in acquiring wealth. I mentioned one. There's a second one that you are mentioning here. There's second one of misconception we should clean in our hearts and minds. That's again, you hear this one. They say that poverty is piety. You see, when you don't have money, you are not tempted to do this whole partying, pool party, organizing illegal, attending illegal functions and doing.
You don't have the money to do it.
Very well. So they think that poverty is piety. Are you getting that?
Yes.
If poverty is piety, then it's wrong. Some people dwell on that. You don't want to. They are being tested with that, and they no. Poverty is not piety. If poverty is going to be piety, then means we will not get the companion of the Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will not get Jannah. If you don't want to go far, but all the 10 people who were promised Jannah in their life before they die, at least 8 out of them or 9 out of them were what? Businessmen who were what? Who did business by trading and selling. If you don't know anyone, you know Abu Bakr, Osman, Umar, and then Abdurrahman bin Auf, and then they were busy. They did business, but yet they were promised Jannah. Were they poor people?
No.
So that is it. That is one of the misconceptions. So if you are sitting down on your bed, Allah never encouraged us in this. If you go back to Surah Quran chapter 62, verse 10, that is Surah Al-Jummah. What did Allah say? فَإِذَا قُضِيَ لِلصَّلَاةِ فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. If it was poverty would have been good for us, he wouldn't encourage us this. He told us after our worship, after our prayer, we should not sit down, we should remain in the what? In the spiritual homes, in the houses. We should get up and spread on the earth and look for our halal means to feed ourselves and our families. وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. Go around and remember Allah consistently. Allah will favor you. As if that one is not enough, if you go back to Quran chapter 13, that is Surah Al-Ra'd, verse 11 again, when he is telling us that Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. If people do not change their psyche or they don't change themselves, their way of doing things, there is no way God will come down and change it for you. You are sitting down with your poverty, you are not making any effort, and you are sitting down calling God. Money will not fall down. Call upon God, get up with 1, 2, 3 oranges on your head to sell, then they go out fast. Someone may bless you with something. Oh, take this one and then buy it. Or keep the change. It's just 3 cedis. And they said, oh, take 5 cedis. Oh, keep the change. That is the way God answers your prayers. You have changed yourself. Are you getting that? So it is high time we kill that ideology that poverty is piety and get out to do something for ourselves. By changing ourselves, Allah will definitely change us. This is one of the. Then that moves us to now the purpose of what acquiring wealth. You said it. Today, in a general family from our homes, someone who has a little cash or who is good to do, his voice is being heard.
Yes.
The rest of you are gone off.
You've gone
so
off.
the reason here is that now the first reason all Muslims should look for wealth is that wealth is what? Influence.
Influence brings respect.
Wealth is influence. If you want to know wealth is influence, go to Surah Al-Nam. You will see that God has used 3 good pious people and then compare. And there are 2 things that took place over there. So one point is, the reason why you should acquire wealth is what? One point is it, wealth is what? Influence. You understand? Wealth is influence. And wealth is what? Power. These are 2 points. Wealth is influence.
And wealth is power.
Why do I say that? If you look at the story of King Solomon, when he said to his people that وَوَارِثَ سُلَيْمَانَ دَاوُودَ وَقَالَ يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ عُلِّمْنِي مَنطِقَ الطَّيْرِ وَأُوتِينَا مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. In fact, he was telling his people that God has favored him enough, a lot from what he inherited from his father David. A lot of things are there. And one of the favors he just wants to explain to them that he has the understanding of the communication of what birds and other things. This was a technique or something, a gift from God to him. And he said, and he was given everything. Everything was given. Any other thing he was having. But if you want to see the point I'm trying to make, if you want to realize that when he heard that there was another queen ruling somewhere, he never thought there was somebody. And the person even have something he never had. Because the person was having a throne that Solomon didn't have. And that throne was very vast. But yet these people didn't recognize Allah. When he got the information, he wrote a letter to the person, which he entitled إنه من سليمان وإنه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. And then he wrote his message to them. When the message got to these people and they are now returning it, that is where the problem, that is where I want. When it was returning, فَلَمَّا جَاءَ سُلَيْمَانَ, and when they bring the message back to King Solomon, the queen called his people and tell them the message that they had. Then they packed a lot of cash, whatever, gold, silver, and a lot of things that they have under their possession. Then get horses and donkeys to carry this luggage to go and give it to King Solomon for the letter given to them. What was the letter? Just submit to Allah. That was all.
They felt probably he needed money.
Yes, so they think this person was someone who is a needy. So they put cash and wealth and other stuff, just pack a lot of things, send it to King Solomon. Then when they arrived at Maja Suleiman, they got to him. What did King Solomon say? Fakala, Atumiduni bimali. Are you coming to influence, to lure me with what? Falama atani bi khairin. Fama atani Allahu bi khairin mimma atakum. I getting that. He was telling them, are you coming to influence me with money? Atumiduni bimali. Are you coming with all these things, money, whatever you put together here, thinking you can be? It can't. What Allah has given him, it is more. And others interpret that he's telling them that what Allah has given it as an Islam, the religion of faith in He, Allah, is better than. And others is telling them what they are giving him, he can get, if he wants, he can get better than what they are offering him. So listen. So that is what I said. The 2 points are all guided here. One, the other person was trying to use wealth to influence what? King Solomon. So assuming he was not financial independence, he was not economical independence, what would have happened there? He would have fallen for what they brought to him. So wealth, the purpose of Muslims to acquire wealth is what? To what? Independent, financial independence, and then what? Influence. Because this person was coming to influence him. Today, look at the globe. Those who have wealth are those who are what? Ruling us. Yeah. Isn't it?
Everywhere.
If you look at the Western and other, what are they using? It's because of the wealth that they are using. Wealth is what? Why can't they rule Saudi and other things? Because the wealth is there. Look at the small countries in the Saudi and in the Gulf countries. Because of their financial or economical independence, so they cannot rule them. Just we those who are financial handicaps.
That we're going to beg.
They are those. They are using it to what? So that is what. So they influence us and they what? They use power over us. So you get that concept.
What you've said is very necessary because basically, if you don't have wealth, people can even use your resources without permission. Hadia, let me come to yes, we have gold and all that, but we are not powerful enough. Hadia, you're a female. From what Sheikh is saying, the female structure. It's so wealthy. Let me put it that way, because from your head to your toe, it's something God. It's a gift from God. That's why God has asked the women to cover up, because every part of their body is quite expensive. But you see, with what Sheikh is saying, the issue of wealth acquisition, people have power, and I even find female Muslims who have been prohibited from marrying Muslim men now find it normal marrying Muslim men. That one. You find female Muslims that are supposed to cover up, following trends on social media and stuff because they feel, yes, when I expose a part of my body, people see it, they actually come for me to date me and to dash me money, or probably I get sponsorship deals. So even within the hijab, you see that when they are taking videos and stuff, they turn around and shoot the backside. Oh, really?
Which is killing us.
You know that's a fact, right? It's all in the direction of wealth acquisition, because you know when you do that, you get enough followers. When you get enough followers, you get sponsorship deals, you get people to like you, whatever. It's all part of wealth acquisition. But are we being influenced? We being influenced too much? Instead of working hard, like Sheikh said, we are not acquiring the wealth. So it's making us being influenced by those who have the money and being influenced by trends because we've seen others having the money and we think because of the money they have, they are not having enough power. So we also need to acquire the same power. Do you have any message for the ladies at least on that issue? Because we see it on social media.
Sure, that one too. It's there. That one.
Even
There.
before you come in, recently there was this lady who we know she's a Muslim lady that I've attended Makaranta with before. Her birthday, she was in swimming costume, Muslim, panty and bra. But I will lie to you, really. And then she took pictures. You understand me? Put it on social media because she says she's an influencer now.
That one too. Okay, so what I can say about that is, in as much as Sheikh says, wealth is power and it's an influence, and everybody would want to achieve that power and influence to have that respect from society. But we should also not forget about doing it at all times in the right way possible. We need the wealth to want to satisfy our needs, etc. But is how we are going about it the right way? Is that how it should be done? That's not how it should be done. So we need the money, but there are better ways, 1,001 ways that we can still go about it, not by showing our bodies, not by exposing our beauties, etc. There are still better ways, like okay, like there are better ways that I cannot really like mention
There
them
are better,
vividly, but
better ways.
yes, not by really exposing
Even
ourselves.
one of Sheikh's points was that he said, even if you can carry orange on your head to sell,
Yes.
carry the orange on your head to sell. It's better than showing parts of your body or turning your hijab and then wearing things. We call it fake hijab. Or hijab in disguise. We pretend to wear hijab, yet still our body is fully exposed. So
yes, so even the people with power and influence now, they started from somewhere. Even those with the power and influence, they had most of them had humble beginnings. And if you want to also get to that height, we should also know that we have to begin from somewhere. We don't just acquire them like all of a sudden. You don't just start blooming out of nowhere. Yeah. So you should have that patience and dignity to be able to go through the right ways as much as possible and like forget about societal pressure and trends and whatever that's happening.
God will pass.
Yes.
Everything will pass. Sheikh.
No.
You really digested the topic on wealth acquisition, but we really need an in-depth of it. At least this is the first part.
No.
We've gotten enough education about that. We've been encouraged enough from the background Sheikh has given us that even the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam worked hard. He just didn't get up and then started propagating Islam because wealth was even part of the things that helped him right from the start, inshallah. But he worked hard. He didn't get up and then with money or with wealth, you have power and then you have influence. But make sure you acquire it the right way. Sheikh, give some final words to, as in, we are all being tested. And then at times, someone could see, from what you're saying, someone could say, I have tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. It's still not working. There are those who have finished university, they've applied. They are still applying. 20 years down the line, they are still applying. I have mates I did my master's with, still applying. You understand me? You are not getting a job. Yeah, but we don't seem to see it as a test. You understand? We see it as a form of neglect from God. So if God has neglected me, what do I do for myself? See, those things run through people's minds. Say, can you give a final word, like, to those people out there?
You see, actually, I wouldn't say especially myself myself included, but we have, like I said, we need to change the narrative. I don't see why you should go to university from level of whatever 100 to 4 good years and still come out to go and work under someone. Why is there we are in 21st century to 22nd century, and you need to possess, if you have even one of the 21st century skills, you are okay to go without somebody employed. But we just let the school pass through us without we passing through the school. You understand? Because you go to school not to study people's ideologies, but to what? To put the mind to what? To think by itself. Critical thinking is there. One of the what? The 21st century skills. You know, I like one of these scholar, Sheikh Said Ibn Zaman, one of Turkish scholar in the 18th centuries. He said, he wrote one of his article, and then he titled it that Jihad and Risala Nur. And then he mentioned that Islam has identified 3 enemies of Islam. And he mentioned the enemies of Islam. The one biggest enemy of Islam is poverty. Then he comes that the second enemy of Islam, or Muslim, okay, let me just say Islam, is ignorance. Then the last enemy of Islam is what? Conflict. These 3 things, I thought of it. He didn't stop there, or he didn't leave you in suspense. He went ahead to give solutions and explain why. He said, by his solution to eradicate poverty or to fight, he said that we are going into solemn fight with these our enemies, with what? Intellectuality. So he said we are going to fight poverty with industrialization. This is one. Then we fight the enemy of ignorance with education. Then we fight the enemy of what? Conflict with unity. Very, very important. Now let's come back today. You said you want to employ by someone. When you look at the generations of the 1800 years ago, in the 18th centuries, the biggest source of what? Income or whatever was moving or driving the economy of the globe was agriculture. Our great-grandparents were farmers, isn't it? And we get to learn, be it animal farming or crop farming or whatever farming, it was agriculture. That was what driving the economy of then. So you can see all the prophets, if they are not being shepherded, they were all what? They were farmers, and that's very well. Yes. So it is telling you that we still have the same land here. Go down to the northern part of Ghana, you will see a vast land. You can farm even within Accra. Just move to the rural areas and see. You can do cocoa farm, a lot of farming. You don't want the hard way. You want easy way. That is the first problem. So we should not concentrate. I want someone to employ me. I want someone to employ me. What can you do and employ someone as well? That is one of the things. So you know, and then also look at it from agriculture incoming after the First World War, the Second World War. They moved from agriculture because a lot of harvest was done on the land and it wasn't crop and everything weren't growing well. They then think again. You see what we were saying the ayah. They tried to change their way of thinking and doing things. That was when industrialization instead they have to what? Start producing, manufacturing and other stuff. Then it moved from there. So in the 18th century, after the Second World War coming down, manufacturing was ruling us then. That was taking the economy, production and other things was now managing the economy. Now we move from that particular place again, coming to what? To scientific discovery and other things, which was also taken over by making robots and then aeroplane and computers and other things. Now we have come to a generation that AI or is taken what? Artificial intelligence is taken over. That is what? Technological generation. Now, a lot of us want to be lawyers. We went through the school. We want to be a lawyer. We want to be an accountant. We want to be this. But we end up being content producers, bloggers, and artists. You see that? So at least be skillful. Get a skill for yourself. Something you can do. It will definitely generate you what? Wealth. It will generate funds for you. But you don't have a skill. How do you want to be? And you are always sitting down for someone to employ you. From my HR background, I sit down a lot of graduates and ask you, what can you do? The person is seated. That is it. It's a huge, simple question, but very difficult. Very difficult question to answer. And the person cannot answer. So it means the person has no skill.
Yes.
So it is high time we become skillful. From agriculture to industrialization to artificial intelligence we are today. A lot of them are there. So we should rely on our what? If you are not following the trend, if you are not following the system, you will be knocked out of the system.
You'll be knocked out of the system. It's true. If you're not following the system, you'll be knocked out of the system. So take the right things from the system. What are your last words?
Okay, so my final words will be that in as much as wealth is very important, we need it for the power, for the influence, for the respect in society. We shouldn't forget that we have to live the best of our lives for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For this place a temporary place, and sooner or later we will live here. So we should channel all our wealth acquisition measures to doing it the halal way. Halal ways, always.
Halal ways, always. Because you just don't know when you are going back. That's a fact. You might go tomorrow or today, probably the next second. But the fact of the matter is that you need to know that God has your back. No matter what you do, He has your back. Just do it right, and then you start realizing that He has always had your back. But if you don't do it right, and then you feel He's neglected you, that is when you actually neglect everything, and then you'll be at a loss, and then you keep on sinking and sinking and sinking till no one will find you from the pit. So let's all be careful and acquire the right way. This is not the end of this discussion. Come your way again with Sheikh Mashood, the boss himself.
Student.
The boss himself. And I had Latifa. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.